Okay. I'm looking at the screen, that's why.
Yeah, well, so am I.
Okay.
I'm here and I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, if we're not live, then we'll sing Bim
Yeah, I
Bom
think
again.
Bim Bom.
Let's try it from the top. Bim bum, bim biddy bum, bim biddy bim bim bum, biddy 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 bim bum, bim biddy bum, bim biddy bim bim bum. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, shalom, Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. My name is Rabbi Jesse Mordechai Charon, and I am privileged and honored to be the spiritual leader of Temple Beth David, a vibrant and Hamish URJ affiliated congregation in Metro Atlanta. Baruchim Habaim, welcome to this incredible community to celebrate Shabbat. It is Friday night, August 14th, 2020, the 25th of Av, 5780. And we are coming to you live from our Sunrise Sanctuary. And we are so happy that you have joined us. We are honored to have our talented Kaballat Shabbat musicians, our president and chazan, Barry Nicholsberg, Bobby Horowitz, front center to the right on the guitar, and to my left, Frank Monteleone. And of course, we are blessed and honored for the one that facilitates everything in the back of the room. A very special thank you to Judy Kern, our vice president, and Denise, we miss you. They are both our streaming specialists. So Judy manages the live stream, the live chat for our service, for you to participate in our services. Use the chat function. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and how you joined us this evening. Again, there is a link to the Siddur. Again, we are URJ affiliated congregation, and use the Mishkan Tfilah Siddur. There is an embedded hyperlink so you can follow along with our service. Our Kaballat Shabbat service begins on page 120, where we start with Hadlikat Nerot, the lighting of the Shabbat candles. In Yiddish we say, to benchlicht, to light the candles. We invite our vice president up to come and to usher in Shabbat with lighting of both the two Shabbat candles for Shamor V'Zachor.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
This evening, this Shabbat, you're so blessed and honored to be with us. Why? For sure, we're celebrating Shabbat, our Kaballat Shabbat service. But also we're blessed because it's a marriage. Rabbi, what are you talking about? A marriage? What type of marriage ceremony are we having? We are betrothed to Shabbat. I'll talk about that in my Devar Torah. But to be betrothed to Shabbat, we have the most beautiful song, the melody of Lecha Dodi. Let us now sing Lecha Dodi, found on page 138.
And you've been hearing this now for weeks on end, months perhaps. Please join in. La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 Likrat Kala, la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabelo. Shalom is Hachor, La 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 Likrat Kala, la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabelo. La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 Likrat Kala, la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabelo. La 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 Likrat Kala, la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikah, Pnei Shabbat Nikah, Pnei Shabbat Nikah.
This next song is so beautiful, and I was blessed and honored to live in Israel for many years. And in Israel, of course, the greeting you can say, Shalom, Ma Shlomcha, Ma Shlomech, Ma Matzav. Even you can say, Alo. But how beautiful it is it to say to someone, Shalom Alechem, peace be upon you. Page 142, peace be upon all of us. Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Yon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Borech Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Borech Hu. Barech Hu Mile Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yon. Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Borech Hu. Shechem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Yon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Borech Hu.
And now we transition from our Kaballat Shabbat service, from bringing in the Sabbath, into our evening service, Ma'ariv Aravit. It can be found on page 144 with the chanting of the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
B'yamad yivarach Yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'gala ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'alam Ulal Me'al Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitbar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitala Shemei D'Kudashah Baruch Hu Leila min kol v'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran v'yama v'yimeru. Amen.
Let us read the English paragraph together found on the bottom of page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. Our chazan, our cantor, will bring us into the presence on page 146, the presence of God, where we evoke God to come and be with us with the Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la. Ya la 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 la. Borech Hu et Adonai Hamivorach Hamivorach Le'olam Ha'ed Hamivorach Hamivorach Le'olam Ha'ed.
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. And now as we continue with the Baruch Hu, we rise in body and or spirit. And now we continue with really, in Judaism, there is no creed in Judaism, but we think about having our personal relationship with God. Let us now express that personal relationship with God with page 152, with Shema and then a hushed undertone, the Baruch Shem.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shem Kibo Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kibo Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai.
Our service continues on page 154, where our chazan is going to chant via Haftah, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 5 through 9.
Rabbi, I'm going to do that in just a moment. As anyone who's watching this evening can tell, things are quite different than they have been. We have a brand new camera, which allows us to cut back and forth and zoom in and out and tilt up and down. And Judy is having a great time figuring all that out tonight. And I think we're having a pretty good time getting used to it ourselves. In addition, I learned, thanks to Judy, that when I sing very loudly, I actually can project up to 30 feet with whatever happened to be in my mouth at that moment. And so I am now surrounded by plexiglass. I feel like Maxwell Smart in the bubble of silence. But it's very disconcerting because I've always watched Frank and I have always watched Bobby as they were playing, and now I'm behind them, separated very intentionally. It's just very different. So it's going to take us a little getting used to, but we're going to do this until this plague is beyond us. So bear with us as we get accustomed to working with a new system. V'ahavta, page 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibata bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'leftecha v'derech u'v'shovtecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot ben einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And now we have heard our Chazan chant so beautifully, V'ahavta, and you shall love the Lord your God. And who is like God? Well, we turn to page 158 for Mi Chamocha Be'elim Adonai. Mi Chamocha.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Noratehi lo osefele, Noratehi lo osefele. Malechotecha hara'u banecha, ukei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Za'elianu b'yamru, Za'elianu b'yamru. Friends, before we go any further, in the middle of that song, Judy was desperate to say something to me, but I could not read what she was saying.
A little more to the right.
Ah, Frank needs to go that way. Okay. Frank, we can do that.
We have to put a little sticker on the ground.
That's good. Now we've got it.
From Mi Chamocha, just to share with you that this next, it's a beautiful, we have such a beautiful tune, this Hashki Venu. And Rev Amram wrote the first prayer book, and this is attributed circa 1860 CE. Think about that, this first prayer book. And one of the songs, Hashki Venu, that one should go to sleep in peace, to rise up in peace. It's a beautiful song, and the melody we use, and we sing it to our little daughters when we put them to sleep in the evening. Hashki Venu, page 160.
Hashki Venu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom, L'Havidenu Malkeinu L'Chaim, Ufrosalenu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufrosalenu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us not wrong from right. Amen.
On page 162, we have Vishamru. And, I already have a smile on my face. When I think about Shabbat and Vishamru, Lasot et Shabbat, to do the Sabbath. And what is the Sabbath? It's this covenant, Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, this covenant between Israel, us, Israel, and God. And hopefully you have a beautiful Shabbat practice. I'm going to talk about that in my Devar Torah this evening. But this is a song, an upbeat song to get excited, to clap and to snap, or to sing along with any type of musical instrument. Page 162, Vishamru.
And I'm going to use a gourd tonight, folks, so if you like it, please let us know. And if you don't, please let us know so we get an idea whether or not we should continue using it. When you're ready, Bobby, Frank. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat letorot merit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat letorot merit olam. B'nei Oven, B'nei Yisrael oti olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat letorot merit olam. Ki shet yad yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat letorot merit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayirvash, Shabbat vayirvash, Shabbat vayirvash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat letorot merit olam.
And now we prepare for the tefillah on page 164, the Amidah, the central focus of our prayer service, where we remind God of the promise that God made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, with Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah. Traditionally, we rise for the Amidah. We put our feet together to emulate like the angels standing. I invite everyone to rise with us and turn to page 164 for the Amidah.
Ha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai. Ha-na-na-na-na-na-na-Savtai Tiftach. Ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Ofi-Yagi Tahilatecha. Ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai. Ha-na-na-na-na-na Savtai Tiftach. Ha-na-na-na-na-na Ofi-Yagi Tahilatecha. Ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai. Ha-na-na-na-na-na Savtai Tiftach. Ha-na-na-na-na-na Ofi-Yagi Tahilatecha. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומגולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ביאהבה. מלך עוזר ומשיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ויצרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הקל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיע מתשועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש בשמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
And we continue with a moment of silence. And to assist us as we transition from our meditation, we have Eitz Chaim, and if you would like to sing along, it can be found on page 374.
Eitz Chaim למחזיקים בך ותומכך מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם בכל נתיבותיה Shalom, Ashivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Eitz Chaim למחזיקים בך ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה Yomenu Kedem.
Please be seated. This next beautiful song, Ritzeh. We think about Ritzeh, Rotzeh, what does God want? What do we want? Ritzeh also is to find favor with God.
Wrong keyboard, wrong position. Oh, no, it's not.
As we get closer and closer to the High Holy Days, singing this song becomes more and more meaningful. It's one that we chant repeatedly on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I certainly look forward to it, but it's a treat. It's like it's coming a little bit early this year by singing this. I hope you enjoy it. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu Bi Amcha Yisrael O Tfilatam Bi'ava Tekabel Tamid Avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lecha Ki Av Penei Elevadecha V'chaneino Shpoch Rochacha Aleinu Techezena B'shuvecha L'Tzion Berachamim Baruch Adonai Hamachazeh Shechinato
This prayer, Ritzeh, is so powerful. And here, just as our Chazan was singing Ritzeh, I want to share this one verse with you. Shvoch ruchacha aleinu. Think about that. Shvoch ruchacha aleinu. To pour out your spirit upon us. And here, Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach is one of the names for God. And now as we transition, we understand God's power. That God is the Rofei Kol Basar V'Dam. That God heals, has the power to heal. And this chanting that we're about to do together, El Na Rafana La, is this prayer that here Moses said this when he was beseeching God to heal his sister Miriam. El Na Rafana La. Ana El Na.
1, 2.
page 371. Now we have our Misha Berach for the Cholim, this prayer for those that are sick, a sickness of the mind, of the body, of the spirit. And what is the prayer? The prayer is a refuah shlema, a healing of the mind, a full healing of all the ailments, things that we can see, things that we can't see. And again, we remind God in the spirit of the Avotenu and our Imotenu to bless those that are in need of healing. At this time, please use the chat function and let us know the names of all the loved ones that are in need of healing, in need of a Misha Berach. Please share those names with us. Use the chat function. Type them in.
Sarah Gambrell, Danielle Strumer, Irma Schiller, Felice Friedman, Katie Walmer, Irene Simmons, Laura Friedman, Cindy Rushin, Mark Schoen, Rick Roman, Austin Blake, Deborah Lee Wright, Gary Yax, Dee Yax, Ellen Hammond, Helen Miller, Barry Miller, Iona Alpert, Jill and Randy Miller, Jane and Stephen Miller, Lisa Miller, Karen Fulbright, Dave Yarborough, Celeste and Joe Wheel, Susan Ellers, Zelda Abbas, Ann Olin, Susie Horowitz, Morris and Felice Friedman, Maurice and Margaret Goldstein, Stacy Bernard Roth, Linda Ehrensaft, Marcy Schulman, Nina Schulman, Nina Dubin, Joe Wagner, Irma Schiller, Ann Tepper.
Susie Horowitz, Ann Olin, Jackie Horowitz, Edwin Speck, Andrew Wheeler. Newton County Spinelli, Jim Wade, Betty Fowler, Mary Staple, Nancy Jennings.
Shelley Perkle, Deanne Cooney, Brenda Gibson, Paula Terry, Peter Yarrow, Anya Polara, Louisa Piet, Natalie Kohlhaas, Ben DeSalvo, Joel Kellner, Jeannie Nicholsberg, Josh Billion, Laura Friedman, Sonia Freitas, Mickey D'Amato, Jean Kirchhoff, Jackie Horowitz, and the more than 6 million people around the world who have been afflicted with COVID-19.
Let us pray for all of those names and for everyone that is in need of a refuah shlema. Page 371, Misha Berach.
Berach Avoteinu Mikor HaBrecha Laimoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imoteinu Mikor HaBrecha Leavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Hermina and Alex Levy, Stuart Freitas, Jerry Wood.
We continue. Please, again, all the names. We continue to pray for all the names. So we're here. We're a community, and please let us know. We're here to pray with you, to mourn with you, and to celebrate simchas with you as well. And now I want to share the Devar Torah, words of Torah, about this week's Torah portion, about what's going on. You know, the rabbis teach us there's this word called igrot. There's Igrot HaRambam, letters of the Rambam or of different rabbis. And you can go if you have questions. They actually say, go and open this up and you'll get answers. Now, what's the foundation of that is our weekly Sedra. That when you open up the weekly Torah portion, you'll find answers for whatever elements you have in life. I hope we can all learn together and grow together with this week's Devar Torah. This week's Parsha is about vision. Not as the sense of sight, but as an ideal state of living we work towards. Parshat Re'ah contains Moses' final speech to the Israelites. What is the message that he delivers? It is the vision of Jewish community. As Jews, it is necessary for us to have a shared vision for our present and future, and to devote ourselves to making our vision reality. Thursday evening, here, this coming Thursday, we celebrate Rosh Chodesh Elul. As we enter the month of Elul, the acronym for this month, the month of preparation for spiritual growth that precedes the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, is Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. So what does this acronym stand for? Ani Ledodi V'Dodi Li. What is the meaning of this phrase? Ani V'Dodi V'Dodi Li. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. An assertion of commitment, a foundation for life together. What do we attribute this phrase to? I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. Ani Ledodi V'Dodi Li. To marriage. 3 weeks from tomorrow, I am honored to officiate Ruth Ann and Mike's Jewish wedding ceremony. While these words evoke romantic love, they are applicable for any emanation of love. In our Jewish tradition, Jews are seen as being married to Shabbat. In the Talmud, in Breshit Rabbah, chapter 11, verse 18, it is written, why did God bless Shabbat? Rabbi Brachia says, because it has no partner. Here, the first day of the week has the second. Yom Rishon has Yom Sheni. Yom Shlishi has Yom Revi'i. Yom Chamishi has Yom Shishi. The first day of the week has the second. The third has the fourth. The fifth has the sixth. But here, Yom Shabbat has no partner. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachman, he says, because it cannot be postponed. A festival can be postponed, as well as the Day of Atonement, because these days are which a Beit Din must declare to be a new moon. So what does this mean? That if a holiday falls on Shabbat, you know what we do in the Jewish tradition? We actually push off the holiday. Why? Because Shabbat is the central holiday. Outside of Yom Kippur, which we call, what do we call Yom Kippur? The Sabbaths of all Sabbaths. But other holidays we can push off. That's how important Shabbat is. Because it comes the most frequent, and that which is the most frequent is the most holy. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai taught Shabbat pleaded with the Holy One, blessed be God, saying, everyone else has a partner, but I have nothing. God answered saying, the community of Israel will be your partner. Tonight and during every Kaballat Shabbat service, we sing, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nika'abela. Come, my beloved, to meet the bride. Let us greet Shabbat. What does this mean that we are partnered with Shabbat? It's quite a strange thing to say. We're partnered with Shabbat. It means to get excited for Shabbat. We prepare for it, just as we would prepare for any special event in our lives. In my household, this involves spending the morning hiking. I'm blessed to be here in Georgia, and there's beautiful places to go hiking. Then I come home for cleaning and baking, and of course taking care now of my 3 daughters, cooking, setting a beautiful table, studying, bathing, and putting on nice clothes, contributing money in the tzedakah box, and listening to Shabbat music. This is what Friday feels like in the Charon household prior to my arrival here. By doing all of these tasks, Shabbat is given the kavod, the honor deserving of a partner. How does your family honor Shabbat? How do you get into the Shabbat spirit? I am grateful to be part of our Shabbat. Here, of our Shabbat, of your Shabbat. We're here together celebrating Shabbat. I want you to think about what motivated you to tune in tonight. Perhaps you were curious to hear what I would be speaking about tonight. Maybe you were drawn into the moving melodies so beautifully rendered by our Shabbat Chazan and our Shabbat musicians. Or maybe you have another reason. For me, Shabbat is a gift I get to share with you. It is a weekly constant that connects us with Jews all around the world. But we need to show up to be included. If all you do to honor Shabbat is tune in tonight, that is a start, a tremendous start. But I encourage you to do more. Think about this day of rest, of holiness, and how it connects you to Judaism. Shabbat is not about meal and services. It's about family, about being with loved ones, with community members. The wedding service bonds individuals together as a family. This is what Shabbat does for the Jewish people as a whole. Shabbat is our weekly expression of love and faith, our affirmation of Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. Returning to Parshat Re'ah and the vision of Judaism, Moses reminds the Israelites, if they uphold the laws that God has established, they will be blessed and prosper. But if they stray from God, they will be cursed and perish. What laws are specifically mentioned in this Torah portion? So, not worshiping idols, making proper sacrifices, eating clean animals, providing for the needy, releasing debts, freeing slaves, and traveling to Jerusalem for the 3 pilgrimage festivals, Passover, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. We understand from our Torah that Judaism entails more than being a good person. As Jews, we have obligations beyond tikkun olam, repairing the world. Our vision extends to these aspects that God, through Moses, communicates in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Re'ah. To touch on a few more in detail, I want to make sure you said, you heard the rabbis Devar Torah. What specifically did the rabbis say? I want to give you specifics about this week's Torah portion. The Jewish vision begins with God and directs us to maintain our exclusive relationship with God. We are not tempted to have idol worship, to worship the idols of others. And what is the Jewish vision of engagement with God? Here, we're talking about the idol worship. You say no. We talk about sacrifices. You say sacrifices. For us nisht. In Yiddish, why not? What's going on with the sacrifices? We have no temple. Of course we can't do it. What are you even talking about? So here in our post-Second Temple era, sacrifice has been replaced with communal prayer. That's what we're doing here tonight. The vision of Judaism also includes kashrut. And even if you do not abide by these rules at home, here, knowing that Temple Beth David, there's no specific eating of pig products, of treif, rabbit, or heaven forbid, camel. Rabbit's not kosher, camel's not kosher, birds of prey not kosher. I was speaking today, I was tutoring someone for their bar mitzvah. We were talking about what food you can eat and what food you cannot eat. And the bar mitzvah boy said to me, soon to be the bar mitzvah boy said to me, I wouldn't eat that anyway. I said, for sure, but in other countries, maybe they eat that. They said, what? Are you serious, Rabbi? I said, yes. So again, for sure we wouldn't eat those things. But the Torah also commands us not to eat those things. While we may serve chicken to other birds, here, such as our national bird, the bald eagle, will never be on our menu. So why no bald eagle? Not only as proud Americans, we would never dishonor our nation or break any national laws. We are specifically instructed that the consumption of eagle is not the Jewish way. Judaism also involves having concern for our community. Moses reminds us to tithe the Levite. Here, who do we have to look after? To tithe the Levite, the widow, the orphan, the stranger. To sum it up, the Jewish vision is community. It is ani ledodi v'dodi li. To learn more about the upcoming month of Elul, join me on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on a Zoom call for a special pre-Rosh Chodesh Elul session. Also, keep an eye on your inbox as well, as we have more learning sessions as we approach the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, and specifically the new year, 5,781 for Rosh Hashanah, also for Yom Kippur after that, and then Sukkot. So I want to wish everyone blessings, to be healthy, to be safe, and to continue to learn and grow in Torah, and to think about what is the vision that you have for yourself, for your family, for your community, your loved ones. Good Shabbos. Our service continues as we open the Aron HaKodesh to look at the Sifrei Torah. Turn with me onto page 586 as our Chazan leads us in Aleinu, the second paragraph of Aleinu. As the ark is open, please rise in body and or spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצו, ולא שמנו כמשפחת האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושינת עוזו בגוהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו עבד זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת For you spread out the heavens and established the earth. Your majestic abode is in the heavens above, and your mighty presence is in the loftiest heights. You are our God, there is none else. In truth, you are our sovereign without compare, as is written in your Torah. Know then this day and take it to heart, that Adonai is surely God in the heavens above, and on the earth below. There is none else. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom ha'ho yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. with what's going on around the world. Here at Temple Beth David, we have a minhag, a new custom that we wish that we didn't have, but in what's going on in the world, how do we cope? How do we understand the loss of life with coronavirus, with COVID-19 going on around the world, where so many people have lost their lives, so many people are ill? The Jewish response is we pray for all of those dearly departed souls. We pray that we remember them. And how do we do this? We elevate the soul with the ancient chanting of El Maleh Rachamim.
El Maleh Rachamim, Shochen Baromim, Hamse Menucha Nechona, Tacha Kanfei, HaShekhinah, Im Kedoshim Otehorim, Kezohar Harakia, Masirim, Lenishmor Yakirenu, Shahalcho Leoleamam, Barachamim, Arachamim, Yastirem Besefte, Kinafav, Leolamim, Vayitzror, Bitzror Achayim et Nishmatam, Adonai Nachalatam, V'yanu b'shalom Hamishkavan, V'nomar Amen.
At this time, we now transition into our Kaddish Yatom, our Mourner's Kaddish, a meditation for us to prepare for the loss of life as we continue to share in the memories of all of the deeply departed. Page 593, let us read together the second paragraph. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision, our grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggle of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. At this time, if you are commemorating, if you're in Shiva, 7 days of mourning, if you have lost a loved one, someone has been taken from you, and Shloshim and 30 days of mourning, as we continue the year, the first year, the Shana Rishonah of mourning, please use the chat function and let us know so we can recite the name of our dearly departed, and they can be blessed with the bracha of an Ilui Neshama. The soul should continue to rise and be bound with the glory of God.
We're in a period of Shloshim for George
Frederick Kirchhoff.
And this week we lost a friend of Temple Beth David, Patrick Myers, the period of Shloshim for George Kirchhoff, and the Shana Rishonah, the first year we remember Mickey McKinney, Dr. Norman Freed, Pedro Martinez, Martha Young, Helen Brudner, Gary Peck, Norman Leikach, Elabeth Green. And we commemorate the Yortzites here in our holy congregation where we never forget Harry Bernard, Peggy Duff, Anna Epstein, Shirley Woodruff, Ralph J. Abb, Dr. Lanny Lesser, John Carson, Leslie DeStefano, Evelyn Portnoy, Eleanor Bloom, Layla Brown, Clara Esther Schinder, Stephen Andrews, Glenn Blankenship, Etta Berlin, Audrey Erdman, Joanne Epstein Sampson, William Schur, Anna Bernstein Levin, Lois Wittner, Sarah Dobran, Esther Schiller, Michael Shirkis, Bessie Horowitz, Donald Woodruff. We think of all of our loved ones, and we say, Zichronam Livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing. And at this time, I invite us all to rise in spirit and in body in solidarity as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish found on page 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Ulalmei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yithalev V'yithalal Shemed Kudsha Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Ba'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Please be seated. We think of in Judaism as we go from death to life. Death is, we think about that. Life is finite, but in Judaism we understand as life is the immortality of the soul because we continue to believe. And we finish, our service concludes with this beautiful hymn, Adon Olam, found on page 625. Adon Olam.
Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem kol Yatzir Nivra Li'et Nasa V'chetzof Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Veho Haya Veho Hove Veho Yeh Betitara Vehu Echad V'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachmira Beli Reishit Beli Tachlit Velo Ha'oz Ve'Hamizra Vehu Eli Ve'chai Goali Ve'tor Chevli B'hein Tzara Ve'honizi Umanosli Minat Kosi ביום אקרא אבטיחי ואין אישן ביחירה ואמרתי כביתי אדוני לי ולא
Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. And now we have some announcements. I defer to not only the Chazan, but the president of Temple Beth David, Barry Nicholsberg.
Well, for those of you who are wondering what's going on behind me and the rabbi, yes, we have beautiful stained glass windows, and yes, partially they are covered, because what we found once we started with cameras, we realized that the light coming through those windows on camera was blinding. You actually couldn't see us up here at all. And so rather than make you think we were apparitions, we decided that we would cover the windows, and we look forward to the day when we are finally able to be back with you. But in the meantime, as we are up here, and one of us at least is surrounded, encased in plexiglass, we will have that behind us so that we can be seen. And I assure you there's nothing wrong with the stained glass. I would very much like to thank Bobby Horowitz. I'm delighted to see you, Bobby, as always. Frank Monteleone, thank you ever so much. I'd like to thank all the folks last week who wrote and called me and asked what was going on because I was not here. I have Meniere's disease. I've had it since 1993. I had an attack last Friday. It was not possible to be here. And I appreciate your patience, and I certainly appreciate the Rebbitzin stepping in at the last moment. I know she did a marvelous job, and it was refreshing to know that we have such strong people who can step right in. And my thanks to you. Folks, if you are not familiar with our offerings throughout the week, all of which are brought to you either via Zoom or YouTube or somehow, you will find them on our website. That is TBD for Temple Beth David, GA for Georgia, tbdga.org. Please go there. You will find what we have almost every day of the week and what time. And by all means, you are always, always welcome. I was thinking earlier today that COVID-19 has destroyed so much of our society. I'm trying to find the good in it. And certainly having us slow down and really appreciate what we have is one of those things. Another is that because we have no choice but to bring you these services virtually, we are reaching people who we otherwise would never have reached. We have people who regularly watch this service from Alaska, from California, from New Hampshire. We have people from all over the country who tune in and watch on a weekly basis. And I hope that whatever we are able to give to you, that it helps you find peace within yourself during these incredibly trying times. With that, I have no further announcements. Judy, do you have any?
Yes, there is a sisterhood meeting by Zoom on Sunday at 12:30.
And I heard the sisterhood, they have a phenomenal speaker that will be speaking about...
And who would that be?
I don't know. Tune in. We're going to be speaking about the the power to get through difficult times, to the power of perseverance.
And please give me any feedback on our new camera and scenes and switching. Let us know what you think, please. Send me an email.
And at this time, we're blessed. Why are we blessed? Because we're all going to receive the priestly benediction, to rise in body and or spirit to receive this blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May Adonai bless us and protect us.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May Adonai shine countenance upon us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may Adonai illuminate our minds and lift up our heads, and may we be blessed with peace.
V'yasem lecha shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and we continue with Kiddush. Kiddush. I've got my Yeti cup here, so we'll do Kiddush. Motzi we can't do, I didn't bring the challah. But Kiddush we can do with my cup here. I've got some juice in it. So page 122 for Kiddush. Get something nice to drink to elevate your Sabbath experience. Vayihi erev vayihi voker yom hashishi vayichulu hashemayim v'aretz v'chol tzvam vayichal Elohim b'yom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot b'yom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayivarach Elohim b'yom hashvi v'kadesh oto ki vo shava mikol melachto asher barim la'asod Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu v'totav v'ratza b'anu v'shabbat kodsho b'yavar v'ton hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zeichel etziat mitzrayim. All together. Kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahav ratzon hilchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Amen.
Amen. Zu gesund. We should only be blessed with health. Good Shabbos. I will see you here tomorrow at 11 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good evening. Erev Tov, good evening. And Laila Tov, good night. And of course, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.